became a pro wrestler. He was so happy and everything like that. Gave me his number and still in touch with him today yet. Sergeant Barry. Yeah.
That's crazy.
I know.
Sags, I wanted to ask you, Sags, how do you guys keep a relationship so strong after all this time?
You mean me and Knobs?
What? Yeah, Knobs.
What relationship?
Well, I want to ask you though. How do you guys keep so tight?
You and Knobs.
Well, it's part of being growing up together and tag team together. It's like a ongoing thing with your friends for life. Our grandfathers partied together, worked at cement mills together. They drove Harleys together back in the 30s and 40s when all that kind of stuff.
But your parents didn't pair you guys up. You just met in the playground?
No, I actually was tried out for baseball down in my neighborhood, and they cut me, and I came home and was pissed off, and because my old man would tell me, take your fucking glove and your thing, you go up and prove yourself up there. You know what I mean? All the other kids had their dads out there up the coach's ass and all that stuff, So which kid gets cut? Oh, he's done. Get out of here. I was pissed.
Okay.
So the next thing, one of our neighbors, they need Styles up there. It was hockey and Styles. They need kids on the team. I go on this team, and who do I meet but him? And then a bunch of other friends are lifelong friends too. So I'm on this baseball team, and he takes me home. He takes me home to his house, an old farmhouse up in in Stiles, Pennsylvania, which is we grew up in Whitehall, outside Allentown. We're close to here. Got a couple out, due west, but go home and hey, his Grammy's cooking something in the kitchen, and he goes, hey, Grammy, this is Sagsy. And she, weird look at me. She goes, Sags? Like Saganovich? Because we're Polish. Mm-hmm. And she goes, are you Stevie Saganovich's grandson? I went, yeah. And a big smile came up on her face.
Okay.
And here we met, but she was good friends with my grandfather. He's Jan Drizovich, I'm Saganovich. And it reminded me that his grandpop was crazy like him. He hit a pole doing like 60, 70 with the Harley, the old K models, Yeah. And then he was loaded up and hauling ass, and that's how he died young. And his Grammy had to raise a family. Yeah. Well, he was fucking crazy like we are.
Right.
So it's like almost certain things are meant to be.
Just meant to be.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like somebody put us together there. At that point in life.
Oh yeah.
And then the rest was history. And we, there's 3 or fuck offs in high school and fighting, and then we get both kicked. I get kicked out of college. He gets kicked out of the army. Now we're fighting again, and beers and boozing and fucking up, and they're like, you guys need, a bunch of our friends, local cops. Matt Millen, our good buddy, played for the Raiders, and listen, everybody, you guys got to get the fuck out of here. Why don't you do that? You're fighting all the time anyway. Go into that wrestling or something. That's when we started chasing down, for some reason, the guy that we were going to look for information about wrestling is a guy eating turnbuckles and going, George Steele.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh my God.
I lived 2 miles from Mag Hall.
Okay.
Where they taped WWF, the old Vince McMahon Sr. taped television. Well, George Steele, Gorilla Monsoon, Andre, Ringer's Roost, the bar across the street. All the guys would sit there and drink, then go over and shoot TV. That's where, the thing was there. That's where Snuka hit, Piper hit Snuka with the coconut. Was at Hamburg.
Yeah.
There you go.
They'd shoot in Allentown and Hamburg.
Right.
And then on a mile and a half from my house, the George Washington Motor Lodge.
Yeah.
That's the GW, where all the guys would stay that coming into town right on Route 22, 78 that shoots over to New York, and this was the territory, Right. So, we wake at first. My mind as a kid waking up on Saturday mornings, and you see Roddy on there, and he's doing his shtick, Piper draw your face right to the fucking tube, and you're like, what's this shit,
Right.
But they're like, so we started following around, chasing George around, driving him crazy. Fucking knocking on his door. That thing if I got the times, George chased us, coming with the green tongue. He still have it from the show.
Yeah.
The tongue was green. yee, and you go into his gimmick, and me and Knobs, we running down the aisles of George Washington. He chases us down the fucking block. I'm tired of you two.
What made you guys select George Steele?
I don't know. We just said, we go, that guy's George.
You picked the craziest guy.
Right.
At least on camera.
But our good friend was manager of the place of the Quality Inn across the street where George was staying.
Okay.
He was staying at George Washington, and he became friends with George.
Okay.
And he goes, I got these two guys, but it was Matt Millen, who, 4 Super Bowl rings, Oakland Raiders, San Francisco, Washington.
But wait a minute.
I mean, he's the one that actually told us. He just said, let me talk a minute. Jesus, big mouth.
Hide the foreign objects.
Anyway,
well, you're the one that interrupted. He interrupted me.
He looked at us, and told us, you guys are screwing up, and if you don't straighten up, you're probably gonna be thrown in jail. He said, one of these days it's gonna catch up to you.
Okay.
He says, why don't you guys try that pro wrestling? You like it, and then he's the one that really gave us a thing to say, oh, let's go after it, and then. That's when we went after George, after Matt called us to his house. So we really respected Matt. He's playing for the pros, and he gave us a real good speech and got us to where we're at,
Is he finished now?
Yeah, go ahead.
You have the floor.
I thought he was, Edgar Allan Poe writing the fucking long, this 300 episode Bible or something. I don't know. But anyway, funnier story. Who we met first was Gorilla Monsoon.
Okay.
So Joe McHugh was the old announcer. Remember Joe McHugh? He was a local guy, and he knew from athletics or my names and all that kind of stuff. So Joe McHugh goes, come down, and I'll introduce you to Gorilla. And so we walk in, me and him. This is maybe 82. And they go, and here Gorilla stands up with a big smile on his face. So, you guys want to get in the wrestling business? We go, yes, sir, we do. Let me give you a number. He writes down a number and gives it to us. We go, thank you so much. And they just call, and we go home. Now we go home, and we're like, are you going to call or the number? Well, let's wait till tomorrow to call the number. And we're going back and forth about the number and the number. And who's going to call the number? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but George Steele called me.
No, wait a minute. And so we finally go, all right, Knobs gets on the phone and calls the number. It was like I think the number was 8675302. You know the song.
He gave you Jenny's number.
8675309.
You might have gotten Tommy Two-Tone.
Yeah, right. But that was the first rib ever pulled on us. And we waited. We were anxious about calling the fucking number and waited for a couple of days. All right, we're gonna call. And it was a number. It's a fake number.
Wow.
Gorilla was probably back pissing his pants. These fucking two idiots with this number.
But we bugged George Steele so much that he said, come meet us at the Quality Inn. And he had Snuka, Paul Orndorff, and Bob Orton Jr. to stretch us.
Oh, Sheik.
And the Sheik at the
when these guys walk in,
and he's working.
Jump 'em.
Well, he's
we were going to get our ass
working,
kicked.
and I'm working, and I said, sorry, Mr. Steele, but we're both working. We love to make it, this and that. He goes, well, if you guys are serious, he said, you'll go to Vern Gagne's camp. Yeah. That'll either make you or break you. Up in Minnesota. And at the time, you had to write a resume and everything, and Matt was one of our references, and Brad was teaching the camp, Brad Reagans, who was an Olympic champion.
Right.
He won the bronze medal. He probably would have won the gold in 80, but they boycotted it because he beat the Russian in the World Games in 79. And the ring didn't even get set up for 3 months. We were on Olympic mats getting tossed around like feathers. He threw Leon White after Leon got out playing for the Rams, and Leon was like 380 pounds. He suplexed him right through the shower in the back, and we lived on the bottom of Brad's. So there's no way you can skip camp or everything. We were out there, and for 3 months on the Olympic mats. Then they finally, I'm going, I didn't sign up for this. I'm getting stretched every day. We're getting stretched, and then all of a sudden, every couple of days, Vern would come down, and after Brad had you totally exhausted, our grandmothers could have beat us. Now you got Vern coming in there, putting you in shooter holes, and you're going, And then all of a sudden the ring got set up. We started with 22 people, and me and him were the only ones to survive. And that's because our car broke down, and there was no way to get out of there.
You had to stay.
And we were on the bottom of Brad's house, so we had to be out there, So But it was good training. It really was. And then from then, when we finally get the thing, we go, go through the school. We didn't jump right in the ring. Hell no. We had to drive the ring first. Then we refereed. I mean, it was another 6 months till we finally got in the ring.
What do you guys feel about nowadays when you read about these guys? And I don't want to label them, but hell, I will. Some of these guys.
Know what I wanted to talk to you about. I want to welcome our new sponsor, 500 Level. www, shouldn't be using that, 500level.com, where they sell all sports clothing and all this wonderful stuff. And support the Monte and the Pharaoh show. Please use the code MP20, that's MP20, and get a luxurious 20% discount with 500 Level sports gear. And right now they're offering a holiday special with 10%. So that's a whole 30% off the garments. Jimmy, you just being part of their sponsorship, ordered yourself a nice little T-shirt.
Yeah, I'm acknowledging the great tribal chief. Yo, by the way,
I'm really surprised you went that route, dude. I got to be honest with you.
Oh, you know what's funny? As I was looking through, and by the way, they have a lot of great stuff for you folks out there. When you get to that site, there's a lot of good. Dude, I was tortured. You said to me, pick a shirt, and I'm like.
And by the way, it's just not wrestling, dude. It's all sports. Like, I was surprised you went wrestling. I was like, really, dude?
Well, I mean, after all, they've been, kind enough to be our sponsor, and we're gonna have a partnership with them. Of course, I'm gonna do wrestling. It's a wrestling show. Sometimes it's a wrestling show, right, Mike?
Sometimes. And let's not reminder, MP20 for a luxurious 20% off of 500 Level. And like I said, for the holiday, they're offering another 10%.
What do you think I was going to pick? Like Aaron Judge or something? I don't really.
Dude, I know. I was thinking to myself, is he going to go Yankees or Jets? And if he goes wrestling, he's not going Rome. Like, I was shocked. I thought you would go Hulk Hogan, Savage, Ultimate Warrior even.
No, because right now, the very thing that you and I talk about from week to week and we pine for is the return of the great tribal chief. Look, we really did enjoy that. Yeah, we really did love that reign.
By the way, I got to show you something here. Do you see this? I got this T-shirt.
Look at that. There you go.
It's really cheesily made, but I fucking
love
it.
So what? It's the message that counts.
By the way, I got to ask